One of the biggest concerns in modern society is defining and understanding what masculinity is. There's yet to be a discussion on the psychology of masculinity and how young men integrate the characteristics of what it means to be masculine in a way that benefits himself, his family, and his community. I recently came across a concept while reading several psychological research papers on child development. The concept is known as the zone of proximal development. It was first coined by a famous Soviet psychologist by the name of Lev Vygotsky. Within his field of research on child development, various studies have found that when mothers speak to their children, they speak at a linguistic level that slightly exceeds the child's ability to comprehend what the mother is saying. Now, why is this finding important and how does it relate to masculinity? The finding itself is a universal rule or a law of nature that describes the developmental necessity for all humans. When people say I'm in the zone, this is what they mean. Take an example of a boxer and his coach. The boxer has a fight coming up and he's preparing to spar in order to train for his opponent. The coach can do three possible things which can affect the development of the boxer. First, he can bring forth a sparring partner that is not a match for the boxer, and thus the boxer does not develop his skills to an increased level. The second is the trainer brings forth a world-class boxer who completely shatters through his opponent, leaving the student not able to develop at all. The third practice, which borders the middle of the zone of development, is to introduce his student to a fighter that can challenge the boxer to a level that pushes him incrementally till he improves his skills. A personal example of this is a rule that my jiu-jitsu coach has placed while we are training with our partner. One of the key factors to getting promoted in jiu-jitsu is for you to be a good rolling partner. This means not to go 150% in every practice session and overwhelm your partner or risk injury. At the same time, not to lay there like a vegetable and prevent growth of your partner through no struggle during the session. What my coach is saying is to be in the zone, and inside the zone of proximal development, where you are within a setting where you improve incrementally at a pace that is optimal for your development. Now we can connect this back to the idea of masculinity and how to manage this within children and young adults. Within my work as a counselor, I have seen many youth who do not know how to control their anger and aggression in a manner that is beneficial for them, as well as be social in a way that is acceptable within the rules of their community. Most of these youth end up in trouble with the law or under the influence of drugs, gangs, or violence. Within this sense, we can attribute this to a degree to men and boys not being given the opportunity to perform intrinsic biological temperaments within a healthy degree. Take the example of David. He's a 16-year-old boy who's an anxious kid and is bullied for being socially awkward. His teacher often ignores him and sees no problem with his behavior. Instead of this, we can slowly manage David's awkwardness and anxiousness through this concept of the zone of proximal development. The teacher can give David activities and pick on him to answer questions in a manner that exceeds slightly from his current anxiety levels, but not shock him into a completely introverted person who dreads speaking. This develops him as a young man, but also helps David understand characteristics such as assertiveness and competence, which are integral in navigating biological masculine temperaments. If a young boy is unable to overcome anxiety, then he will inevitably have a difficult time navigating his feelings of anger and frustration. This is one of the main reasons why almost all school shooters are young males. They are more prone to violence, but at the same time have not been helped to develop the characteristics and personal growth that help them control their masculine imperative, such as quickness to anger and violence.